I'm going to make a couple videos and put on this channel, and after that, I'm probably going to make a secondary channel for different things because I've literally, if you've watched this channel, I've not talked about anything for 3 years, 3.5, 4 years now, other than motivational shit, psychedelics, cannabis, and the totality of reality, and how to crack the human mind, and how to escape your perception of this reality, because it's bullshit. It's not even accurate or true. However, I would like to talk about more things because, like, shit, dude, I watch MMA. I play video games. I like talking about weird, random shit. And in this video in particular, I want to talk about Andrew Tate. So, and a funny story how I even know of Andrew Tate. I'll put down below if you, yeah, I'm probably going to make a second channel, but would you be interested? Would you still watch? Well, I'm just going to make a second channel because I've been told I've been shadow banned on this one a couple times, so whatever. Andrew Tate. Here's a funny story about Andrew Tate and how I even heard of Andrew Tate or know about Andrew Tate. I have two daughters, an 11-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old daughter. My 11-year-old daughter came to me and asked me about Andrew Tate. And I believe I had to look him up to see who he was. And then I realized, oh, I've seen this dude in the past month or so, scrolling through whatever, shorts, Facebook, Instagram. And so I immediately asked my daughter, why, because she came to me and was like, I can't stand Andrew Tate. This is an 11-year-old. I was like, well, why do you not like Andrew Tate? And she said, well, he's the same thing you're going to hear from anyone that says they don't like him. He's misogynist, and he's sexist, and he says horrible things about women. So I was like, I've not heard him say anything negative about women in the little things I've saw from him. So I go and look Andrew Tate up, watch some of his stuff, and I'm like, oh, 98% of everything this fucker says is accurate and truthful. And 2% I don't agree with. The 2% I don't agree with is not even for the reasons that you're thinking, probably. So I go and my 15-year-old daughter says she loves Andrew Tate. So, just a funny little story there, if I even know who these people are. So I go in and go on this thing of Andrew Tate, and I realize this fucking guy is saying the same things I've been saying for 3 years. The only difference is he calls this the Matrix. I call it the social matrix. He says money is fake, and it's just numbers on a screen. I have said that for fucking 4 years almost. Depression isn't real. What you give your power to, you believe in. Go back on my channel. This is undeniable. I've said these things for years. So, I took a liking to Andrew Tate, you could say. And then he got deplatformed on social media. And I thought that was an incredibly fucked up thing. And then I hear that they tried to shut down his bank accounts, freeze his assets, etc. And then it made me pay attention more because it's like, what is this dude really saying that is getting them to censor him to this much extent? Because he's not said anything crazy. I'm going to tell you the 2% I disagree with, and they're not even going to be for reasons you think that you're probably assuming right now. The 2% I disagree with him with is he will say the Matrix, right? It's all the Matrix out here. However, when he gives his reason, like, I'm not a fan of, I was at a wedding not that long ago, and I thought it was kind of weird that that this girl's father walked her down the aisle, and that whole thing came about, like, who's giving her away? Like, you can't give away a human. So I thought that was weird to begin with. But it's culture, it's tradition, whatever. My only issue with Andrew Tate is he uses his reasoning to say that, which I actually agree with him to a degree, because you do say my wife, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my daughter, my father, my mother. There's some form of my there to where it's some possessive term, obviously. However, I do not agree with the fact that he's using religion, mainly Christianity and Islam, to back up his belief in that, and then he's not even realizing that is part of the matrix itself. That's really my only issue with Andrew Tate, or where I disagree with him. There's been a few, and I'm talking about legitimate things he said, and not obvious trolling or things taking out of context, etc. I think he's misspoke a few times, especially on the age thing. Like, guys would rather have a 19-year-old than a 25-year-old. Well, that's not necessarily true, because I just went on a dating spree during the summer. I talked to 19-year-olds, I talked to 25-year-olds, I talked to 30-year-olds, I talked to every age in between. And I didn't necessarily prefer the 19-year-old over the 30-year-old. But I do understand where he's coming from. He's saying that you're going to have more baggage, more bullshit to deal with, and there's been ran through more times. So, but again, if you had a 19-year-old that had been with 10 men and a 25-year-old that had only been with 3 men, the 25-year-old seemed mentally stable, the 19-year-old did not. Which one are you going to pick, dude? It's not going to be the 19-year-old. So he misspoke on that, I feel, anyway. But the bigger point of this, I guess, is we really should focus on why he's being taken off of social media. Well, he calls people out on their bullshit. He calls a spade a spade. Said the cold out here was a bunch of bullshit. Putting that on was a bunch of bullshit, things that I've said for 3 years. He's called out the hypocrisy of media and how rigged the system is. Things I've been doing for 3.5 years. And he put a blueprint to show exactly how easy it is to make this happen. All you have to do is pay to get your videos promoted, get in good with a group of people, get them to put shorts up of you, get them to share your clips, and then you're going to blow the fuck up. Pretty simple blueprint. And he talks about bots, which is what I'm assuming is the same thing I've been saying about NPCs going off programming. Have zero clue or intention what they're doing. Just repeat shit. Try to fit into the social matrix, or as he calls it, the matrix. I call it a shit show, but, social matrix is probably a better word than a shit show. So at the end of the day, you have someone who is speaking truthful words, trying to help people out, is calling bullshit on bullshit, and gets censored, shut down, villainized, and fucked over. Explain that one to me. And here, let's connect this. The 11-year-old, my daughter, the 11-year-old one, that mentioned to me about Andrew Tate, actually drew an egg. She called Andrew Tate and said he looked like an egg. I actually have the egg in my refrigerator. I should have, what, fuck it. Let's go get it. But the funny thing about this is, I was like, you don't even understand, like, I'm not talking shit about my daughter. I love my daughter to death, but she said she was going to vote for Joe Biden if she could vote. And if you've watched me, you understand, I think they're both fucking lunatics and you shouldn't be picking between those two. It's a bullshit system. However, she said she was going to vote for Joe Biden because Trump's bad and all these other things, which later on she admitted I didn't know what I was talking about. I was just going along with this. Same thing with Andrew Tate. So it's not too bad, honestly. But shout out Andrew Tate. So the funny thing is, the 11-year-old actually went and did research after I told her to, and was like, oh, okay, that was crazy. Why anyone's even getting upset about this. So, wrapping it up with that. If an 11-year-old girl can come to a conclusion after watching some things that were not taken out of context or clipped and come to that conclusion, then I'm not entirely sure what's... And it's so hilarious the way they try to frame the man and set him up to say something. It's like, if you ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I truly feel about it and the truth about it. And I feel that he's the same way. So it's like they're purposely trying to, especially that Piers Morgan interview, purposely trying to set him up to say or look a certain type of way so they can portray him as something else and villainize him even more. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious because it's almost like he's playing fucking 5D chess and everyone else is playing like fucking checkers. Not everyone else, but the majority of people are playing fucking checkers. He's playing 5D chess and he can calculate the outcomes before it's going to happen. It's easy to do once you understand the human mind. Once you understand your own human mind, and then you understand the human mind in general, and then you can, it is almost like these people become NPCs because you're understanding they're running off of programming. And it's almost like you're so far ahead of them that you can predict their words, behaviors, and actions. It's insane. So it was funny watching that Piers Morgan interview, and he's just sitting there like, that's what he was doing. If you watch that interview, in his own mind, he was calculating what was appropriate to say. I hate that shit. I just want to tell you the truth. However, he's in a position of where they done tried to fuck him. So, it is what it is. But this is mainly just to say, hey, I'm going to make a second channel. This is going to be on my main channel. I wanted to talk about Andrew Tate for a while. So, because I thought it was incredibly dirty. I'm going to make a video on this channel about UFC 280. And then probably somewhere in the next 2 or 3 days, I will make a new channel. I'm going to put these 2 videos as my first videos on that channel and promote the shit out of it. Because, again, I've made channels that blew up quicker than this, that gets way more views than this. And I do not know if it's because of the content I make on this channel, the things I say on this channel, or what. I just know that, like, I went from getting thousands of views to less than 100. And I do talk about some some stuff that maybe, if there was a social matrix and there was someone in charge of this social matrix, maybe they would not like. However, you know my beliefs. I think it's all fucking content within a program or within an illusion. So it is what it is. It's a game of form and the play of life. I'm you talking to you. And this is what we do. We create illusions. We have an experience. We tell stories. Snap out of this and live. I love you.